this is game 2 of the MOAB tournament, and I've been pitched up against the Dark Elves. Now, out of the 67 entrants that turned up at MOAB, Dark Elves was quite easily the most used army at the tournament, so it was going to be inevitable. Dark Elves are a very, very hard matchup for the Orcs and Goblins due to the amount of shooting that they have and all the amounts of toys that they get, especially with the Harpies and the Shades and the Hydra that causes terror. Despite having 2 terror causes in the Orc and Goblin army myself, it just doesn't match up quite well against the Hydra. But anyway, played against Nick Hohen, who's a pretty decent Dark Elf player. I think he did mention that he normally uses Warriors of Chaos, so he decided to give the Dark Elves a bit of a run. So just a quick overview of his army. He had the Dark Riders, Cold One Knights, Cauldron of Blood, the big units of Spearmen with the Sorceress with the Sacrificial Dagger, that's the one, yep. The Blackguard, Hydra, the I think 2 units of Harpies, the Repeater Crossbowmen, and another unit of Dark Riders, and of course the Reaper Bolt Throwers, which are standing at the back of the table. Oh, and of course the 2 units of Shades, which is hiding behind the temple there in the middle of the table. Now, my deployment, there's not much else I can say except for the fact that I did stuff up big time. What I had in mind was to just hold one flank, hold one side of the table, but unfortunately I picked the wrong side, even though it was the side with the most terrain. Yeah, I think I just stuffed up big time with the deployment, and it showed during the game. And you can see here he's got a really nicely painted army, even though it's not his, it's actually Rowan Keating's army, who's just borrowing it. I played this army before as well, played it at Clash of the Titans, and Rowan managed to beat me 20-0. Oh, and another thing, you can see the, the sort of like looks like 2 towers, or 2 pillars. Behind that unit, there's another unit of Harpies, so I forgot about them. More close-ups of his army. You can see that there is a BSB, the Hag with the BSB sitting with the Cauldron of Blood unit. And of course the Dark Elf Spearman with the Sorceress and the Sacrificial Dagger. So during the first couple of turns, he's absolutely peppered the Spider Riders. They ran off the table, which in turn panicked the Goblin Doom Diver. And this is going back to the poor deployment choice that I had. Yeah, I deployed them right at the back of the table, and even rolling snake eyes to see how many inches they would panic. The Goblin Doom Diver was gone pretty early in the game. You can also see him peppering the Squig Herder unit with ease. This would have been about turn 2, and yeah, they just absolutely smashed him. On the left-hand flank, I've had the Wolf Riders just trying to keep the Savage Orc Ball Boys from charging anything worthless, namely those Harpies. The Giant there just trundling along, it's copped the wound from the Repeater Crossbowmen. The Dark Riders. And hopefully I can get him into combat soon. At least that way he won't be able to shoot him down. And as you can see here, I've got absolutely no chance to shoot the Hydra because he's hiding him behind the temple. So what I tried shooting with the Spear Chuckers were the Spearmen, but kept missing. And obviously the one that was deployed on the far right hand side had no line of sight. So yeah, not much I could do about that. So now he's laid off his pressing fire, which knocked off 2 out of the 4 bolt throwers. My fast cav on the right hand flank, that allowed him to move his Hydra along the flank, just around the temple there, and get off some flaming shots onto the goblins. At the moment, just using the Squig Herders as a pincushion for the shooting phase and the magic phase as well. Not much I can do about that. Like I said, the Squig Herders have to take it. So anyway, with the left hand flank, I've charged the Giant onto the Cold One Knights. He yelled and balled instead of doing a bit of damage. So he passed his break test quite easily. With the Cauldron of Blood, he's given the Dark Riders the extra attack, so that they've moved in and flanked the Giants. And yeah, just with all the amount of attacks, he was rolling pretty well. He eventually felled the Giant, and so much for that. in the middle, there's all these combats here with the harpies and the shades. Units of orc boys, they managed to stick around a little bit into the fight, but yeah, I was being overrun very, very, very early during the game, and it just there wasn't that much I could do about it. All my artillery were killed off nice and early. Yeah, not much else I could say about that. Oh, and I charged the Black Orc War Boss onto the unit of Spearmen. Bounced right back, and then during his turn, he's just charged with the Spearmen back onto the Black Orc War Boss and the Harpies as well. And I rolled pretty low, so that was him gone. Now, just out of this picture on the left-hand side was actually the Savage Orc Ball Boys that could see the Dark Riders. During his turn, he's actually put the Dark Riders on top of the hill, and he's put the Hydra where it is at the moment. He's left it there. So when I charged the Dark Riders with the Savage Orc Ball Boys, he fled and then exploded a nice healthy flank from the Hydra onto the Ball Boys. So you can kind of guess where that's headed to. He won combat quite easily, despite having numbers and the War Banner and Standard. And they fled and was caught down. Yeah, there wasn't that much I could do about this game. He took away one flank quite easily. He took away my artillery with so much shooting from the shades, and combined that with the charging of the harpies onto the other bolt throwers, neutralized my shooting very early in the game. Yeah, I did lose this game 0-20, so played a good player. I'll give him that. That being said, I've got to make up for the points one way or another, and after 2 games down 11-40, so below par, but I've got one more game to go on the day, so hopefully I can make up for it. And of course, there's about another 6 games to go, so we'll see what happens. Just to finish off, there's more pictures of Rowan's Blackguard that Nick was more than happy with. Didn't get into combat, but it's the rest of his army that really took out everything out of my army. And here, the Cauldron of Blood gives the Dark Elves a nice big buff with the extra attack and the ward saves and whatnot. So yeah, like I said, 0-20. Hopefully I can make up for it the next game.